Shabbat Shalom. I am so happy to be able to share this Shabbat with you. As I was having my prayer time this morning, my listening prayer time, I felt like the Lord said this was something He wanted me to share with you. So I couldn't possibly tell you all that we do during Shabbat, but at least I can give you a general idea. And I'm going to begin by blowing the shofar. I love hearing the sound of the shofar, and one of these days maybe I'll just share a little teaching about the shofar and what it means and why we use it. I hope this comes out good. I'm not sure I got all the sounds right, but at least you got the general idea. That's calling us together to worship the Lord. At least that's what it means to me. Okay, now first of all, some will ask me, what is Shabbat? Shabbat actually just means a time of rest. That's why it's the same as when we say the Sabbath. So most people understand what the Sabbath is. Now, the scripture for this is in Genesis 1:31 and 2:1-3. There was evening and morning the sixth day. The heavens and the earth and all they contain were finished. And on the seventh day, that's Saturday, the Lord finished his work which he had done. The Lord blessed the seventh day and made it holy. Bottom line is, that's why I celebrate the Sabbath. If for no other reason, it was because this was the day that the Lord blessed, and it was the day he rested. So I just like taking his day. I'm not saying you can't take any day of the week. I'm not saying we should take other days. Nothing. I'm just personally, this is how I feel. I love having his day. Now, the reason I'm going by notes, if I don't, I'll get off on so many rabbit trails. I got so much to share, so I'm going to try to stick to my notes as I do this. The first time I began to understand Shabbat was when I went to Israel, and a Orthodox Jewish family invited me for a Shabbat. Well, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to have a meal, and I'm going to their house for a meal. Instead, I said, but how will I get back? There's no buses, there's no taxis. How would I get back from your house? And she said, what do you mean get back? Said, Shabbat is 24 hours. I was shocked. I thought it was nothing more than a good meal on Friday evening. So anyway, I spent the entire weekend with the family, and it was a life-changing experience. I learned many things I didn't know. Especially, I thought, oh, okay, Jewish people, they can't go shopping, they can't drive the car, they can't watch TV, they can't answer their phone. I mean, you know, they're really in bondage. And when I asked them about this, they said, you don't understand. All these things control us all week long. And said, on Shabbat, we are the masters of our faith. We don't have to let the things of this world control us. And I thought, I never thought about that. You mean I can actually take a day and I don't have to run grab the phone if it rings, or have to watch that special TV program, or have to go get groceries or clean that? You mean there's a whole day we can just sit aside and just enjoy having time with the Lord and having time with the family? I mean, believe me, they sold me with just that one thing. It is awesome. In fact, I'm not even sure I'd still be around today if I had not learned to sit aside that day. And they disconnect from yesterday, and they disconnect from tomorrow. Let me give you an example. Most times when we as Christians get together, I hate to admit this, But we're always talking about, oh, I had a horrible week. You know, this went wrong, that went wrong, you know. And then when they start talking about next week, they say, oh, I'm dreading going into work next week because I got so much to do. That we ruin that one little space of time that we have by all our grumbling and complaining. But I love it after I found that. So when I invite people over to Shabbat, I tell them, look, no negative talk. You can imagine how hard that is to get people's mind off of yesterday. Now, it's okay if you're remembering good things or good things for the future, but to get our mind on things of God, the quietness, the beauty, oh, it's awesome. It is awesome. Okay, another thing is that it is a time for physical rest as well as spiritual rest, and laying aside all the cares. Now, before the Jewish people start their Shabbat, they go around collecting money, and they do this for people that can't afford a good Shabbat, and a good meal for Shabbat. And because they said, why should we sit down and have a good meal when there's people that are hungry? So I love that part as well. Oh, I have to interject this, though, about the meal. I'm thinking it's one meal. So here they come bringing out some fish and a salad and some potatoes. And I thought, oh, that's really good. And they asked me if I wanted seconds. And I said, yeah, I'd like some seconds. And I'm really full, okay? And then they said, now that's the first course. Said there's a 5-course meal. I said, oh no, I'm already full. But I learned after that, don't fill up on the first course. So if you come to my house and I offer you fish and a salad, just eat a little bit, because we still got soup coming, we still got a main course, and we got fruit, and we got a dessert. Anyway, the other thing is that they light the candles. And I love that. They said they always have at least 2 candles. One of them is to remember the Sabbath, and the other is to observe it, to honor the Sabbath, to keep the Sabbath. And you know, I realize I have honored the Sabbath ever since I realized the meaning of it. I have not always observed it. I have to confess there's been a few times when I've gotten so busy that my thoughts was on other things, and Shabbat slid by without me really observing it as I should. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't have a regular set routine, but it is supposed to be a time just to sit apart, just to seek Him. In fact, I used to call it my date night with Yeshua. I loved having my Shabbat with Yeshua, and I would take these 2 candles, and when I would light them, I would light one and use that one to light the other, and then I'd hold them so close together that they just melted together, and I love that, because it's like, yes, I just want to be so melted together with my beloved Yeshua that we are as one. And that's what He prayed. In John 17, He said, oh, that they might be one, even as you and I are one. And Yeshua also said that He is the light of the world. And He's also called us to be a light. So when He was speaking about the candles and the light, He knew what Shabbat was all about. He knew they had that tradition. And then, of course, the Jewish people believed that the angels pronounce a blessing over them when they keep Shabbat. So I usually take time to thank God for the angels, because we do know that we have angels that take care of us, and often we don't even think to be grateful for the angels that have protected us on many occasions. So I usually take time to thank God for that. Then next, they lay their hands on their children and they bless them, and they speak this blessing. God will bless you and guard you. God will be kind to you and will be pleased with you. God will be happy with you and give you peace. I love that blessing. They're not saying, oh, God, help Johnny to do better in school or make Susie clean her room. They're pronouncing a blessing from God over their children, and how meaningful that will be to the children, especially in the days to come. Oh, that we would bless our children. So many times you hear parents and they're speaking negative things over their children instead of God's blessing. And then, of course, they bless the mother. I like this too. Both the husband and the children bless the mother. They honor her because she's the one that's taken care of the children in the house all week long, or whatever it is that she's done. So we take a special time to let the men and the children bless the mothers that are present with us when we have Shabbat. And then I learned something new today.